So I'll be brief this time. I do want to take an opportunity, though, to say thank you to all the veterans. I was going to do that, Leslie, but you took my thunder and asked you all to stand. But really, thank you for all of the service that you've given to our country. My wife's dad, my father-in-law, is a Vietnam vet. And so whenever we're with him on Veterans Day, we always get some good food as well, especially at Denny's. My son loves pancakes, so he always gets full. But yeah, thank you so much for your service, and I just wanted to say that now. Just a couple things that I wanted to acknowledge as we continue with the meeting, and that is, so I've met over the last week and a half with several advisory groups. In fact, the most recent group I met with yesterday with teachers in this room, met with administrators, with parents, with students. We're going to continue to do that. A lot of the conversation has been around sort of two items, right, that I think are really important to acknowledge at this point, and just I'll briefly talk about them. And I call them the bookends when we think about our school district and the direction we're going in. The two bookends that we have been really focusing our attention on, and especially as we prepare to give the board some more thoughts around redistricting, resizing, is early education, early ed, and high schools. And both of those bookends, I think, are critically important in order to really get our district shored up for the next 20 to 50 years as we move forward. Early ed, because we feel strongly that our 4-year-old, our pre-K students, but our 3-year-olds as well, in fact, all the way to parents as teachers and the students are in utero, and how we help educate parents more about parenting, etc., we really believe strongly in child development. And so some of the recommendations that we'll be bringing forward will include that thinking, because I think it's critical that we get kids early before they get into kindergarten, and it's time to teach them those other kinds of skills. We've got to teach students how to develop as young people, how to share and get along and have fun and play. Those are critical skills that sometimes we don't think about how important they are until they get in school and then they have some challenges. We've had a number of incidences that have happened with students just melting down because of that lack of preparation sometimes. And so we're going to be working hard to include that thinking in the direction going forward, which could look like some really solid research-based early child development programs that will support what's going on in our early ed program all the way through elementary school and then on to high school. The other part is the other end, right? Like once we get students ready, then what does it look like for them going on for life? And I can tell you this, and I won't even get into it because I know I'll start getting really, really passionate about this part, is that we have got to redesign the way we do high school, period. Right? And I've said this before, but I'll keep saying, folks, if we're to keep up with, not only keep up with, but get our students a fighting chance, not just at the middle class, but opportunities, period, we have got to do high schools different. Right? And we showed a couple of videos to our advisory groups, and we lay out sort of the notion of the industrial age back in the early century, 1906, when Carnegie units were built out for the industrial age, to now. And now we are in an information age, a technology age, where you have at your fingertips access to so much information. And when we take all of that and compare it to where the United States is compared to other countries, or where Florida is compared to other school districts around this country, got a lot of work to do, and we feel really strong about the direction we're going in. So early education and high school redesign are two bookend critical components that we feel if we do those well, all the middle will be shored up pretty strongly. So just keep that in your mind as we continue to move forward. Then finally, with high school redesign, one of the things we've been talking about is block scheduling. We've done some form of block scheduling in our middle schools. We've been engaging our high schools. We're going to be moving really intentionally over the next couple of weeks and months at engaging our high school folks. We'll be taking a group of people to look at a couple of schools in the state of Missouri that has block scheduling to give teachers, our teachers, and our stakeholder groups an opportunity to engage in and with folks who are already doing block scheduling to get some of those questions answered and to feel good about getting answers to those questions and making a really informed decision about what we do here in Ferg Floor. Finally, I said finally before, but really finally this time, is we've been pushing reading, but let's keep doing that. We have the 2 billion word challenge, and I met with principals, and I said to them, I want to put put that front and center. Where are kids in our reading initiative? Where are we with them using accelerated reader as a way to gauge them actually getting it? Funny story. I love Battle of the Books, and so we just grabbed a book. My wife we taught reading before she was a counselor, so we got a book we're reading now. My son, my wife, and all three of us are reading the book. We bought an $8 book, Bud Not Buddy. It's on the Battle of the Books list. And my son is trying to beat me finishing the book. So I told him last night I was on chapter 8, and we got the book, I think, Saturday. Well, I read 2 more chapters last night, and so he passed by me. So tonight when I get home, I got to finish at least 4 or 5 more chapters. But it's a really good book because he identifies in the book with the character in some ways. So it's really interesting. Just getting children motivated about reading and motivating them about what you read and how it applies to life. I think that's really critical. And we want that in every home and in every community, in our community. So that is my report.